The last item I want to look at is the SNAP program, and I'm going to go ahead and log us into SNAP. I've given you the website there in the announcement area, so that is it. And it'll take you to this Training Assessment Simplified website here with SNAP 2013. And you'll definitely want to go through each one of these tabs. The first one is the SNAP Preview. That gives you an overview of what SNAP is all about. You'll definitely want to choose Check Configuration. That will ensure that your computer is ready to use SNAP, and it'll check all the different parts and add plugins if necessary. And then also a great button is the Frequently Asked Questions and User Guide button. Great tool there for any questions that you might have. The Getting Started again is an overview with the registration and things like that, although I'm going to help you with that in this demonstration. So the first time through, if you're a new student, you will want to go to student registration. Now, if you already have a SNAP code, you're still going to want to go through here because you'll want to use the enrollment key for this course. So in any event, whether you're a new student who's never used SNAP before, or you've had SNAP in the fall 2013 or spring 2014 semesters, you're still considered a new student per se for this course. So I'm going to ask that you go ahead and click on the student registration. You'll notice here new student, register for SNAP, or if you already have a SNAP code, you're just wanting to add another course. And I'm going to do that just real quickly here for those students who already have a SNAP code. You'll use your same login name that you've used previously, the same password that you've used, and then the enrollment key is found in the announcement area under the SNAP and Training Assessment software, and it's Goals Chilling. They have some interesting passwords or enrollment keys that they assign to our courses. But anyway, so that would go in there, and then you just add the course to my account. For others who've never signed up to use SNAP before, this is the first time that you're using it, you do want to click on Register for SNAP. Your login name, I would highly recommend that you use the prefix of your Ivy Tech email address. So for example, my Ivy Tech email address is amills57@ivytech.edu. So my login name would be amills57. And then I would create a password. Then my email address obviously would be my amills57@ivytech.edu. You type that in twice, put your first and last name in there, your city that you're from, state, zip code. Make sure that you're in the appropriate time zone. And for those of you that are in the Evansville region, you're in the Central Time Zone. The ID number, if you could just put your course ID, not course ID, I'm sorry, your CO number in there, that would be great. Your enrollment key, as I mentioned previously, for those who are taking or already enrolled in SNAP, your enrollment key is the same thing. You'll want to grab that from right here. So it's Goals -Chilling. You do need the hyphen in there. Do not use the trial activation. That will cause lots of problems. The activation code, however, is the code that's going to be bundled with the SNAP 2013 software, or the activation code package that you received. Your activation code should be in that packaging. Okay, and then you just click on the Create New Account. Now when you do that, I'm not sure where it's going to take you. I've kind of forgotten that since it's been a while since I've created a new account. But I'm going to go back to the Home tab. And if after registering, let me get back here. If after registering it takes you immediately into SNAP, that's great. But I'm gonna log in so that we can hopefully get at the same screen here. And this is not what you should see. I'm not sure what's going on here. So I'm going to close out of this SNAP again, and I'm going to log back in. I'm logging back into SNAP. This is not cooperating for me. Just a second. Okay, so if I log back into SNAP, I should get their home page again. I'm going to type in the login number, my login name, and password. Okay, here we go. Now, so this will take you to, and if you've never used Snap before, if this is your first time, you'll probably just have one tab over here, and it should have MSE OFAD 21800L and then summer of 2014. If you've used if you use Snap in other classes, then you'll probably have other tabs up here. So, okay, so you want to make sure that you've clicked on the appropriate tab, and on the left hand side, what I want you to focus in first before you, and once you get into Snap you can investigate these other links, but for the first time go to week 1, and you'll notice here it's showing you the various chapters. So there's chapter 1, preparing an Excel workbook, and it's divided into training and assessment. So all the training portion you will not be graded on, and the tutorials are very similar to what you would see with the projects within the chapters in the textbook. The tutorials, if you'll notice, there are 9 of those, and for chapter 1, if I go to page 3 in my textbook, you'll notice on that page to the right of the performance objectives, you'll see the Snap icon, and you'll see all the tutorials listed there. Those match up to what's in your textbook. So as you go through these tutorials, I'm going to click on the first one here, you can either immediately launch the tutorial. It'll take you through skills that you can read through, and it kind of walks you through teaching you the various features within the chapter. You can also click on the launch this tutorial with audio, and it'll read to you. So depending on your learning style, you can do whatever you want there. When you launch it with the audio, though, it will take a little bit longer to load. So I'm going to cancel out of that. So those are the tutorials, and I highly recommend that you go through those first, just so, because you're learning the features and the concepts within that chapter. And again, no points are assigned to that. Then the concept exam kind of goes hand in hand with the quizzes. So I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. The skill exam gives you a problem that hopefully covers all the features that you've learned in that chapter, and it's done in one exercise. So that can be done as practice as well. Now when you get to the assessment section, notice the various grades. There are 4 assessments or 4 grades for chapter 1. And again, if I go to the end of chapter 1, page 30, I think it is 30, yeah, 30. You'll notice there are 4 assessments. Each one of those assessments do have the Snap icon to the right of it. So again, confirmation there that we're in the right chapter, we're using the right assessments. These particular assessments, or the graded, or however you want to identify those, they will be graded. They're graded automatically, and you will have 3 attempts. So you can go through, let's say, and each one of them are worth 10 points. So let's say on the first one you get a 7 out of 10. You can go back and do that same assessment again, and if you get a higher score, let's say you get 8 out of 10, that's the one that will be, they'll all 3 be recorded, but I will take the highest one, and the highest one gets recorded in the grade book. So then the performance evaluation is another assessment that will test to see if you've learned all of the assessments within the chapter. And then the concept exam is the quiz for chapter 1. And if you review the concept exam up here at the top, this concept check, those actually give you the answers, very similar to the answers that I gave you in Blackboard in the concept check tab. So those should be very, very, very similar. But that's good preparation, this, for the quiz that's located below. So that is chapter 1. Also in week 1, we're still in week 1, where you have to do chapter 2. There's all the tutorials listed for that. The concept exam, the skill exam, again, those are all for training or for practice. And then when you get to the assessment part, you'll need to complete those assessments, the performance evaluation, and the quiz. And that's all for chapter 2. And then chapter 3, formatting an Excel worksheet. Again, all the training done up above. That's all to be done, no points assigned, but it prepares you to complete the assessment portion of chapter 3. So hopefully you can kind of see the various areas, and I will again reiterate, I know there will be some of you who will want to go directly to the assessment portions on each of these chapters and without doing any of the training. And you can certainly try that, but if you're not successful on those assessments, I highly recommend that you go back and do the projects within the chapter and also the tutorials, because those are what SNAP grades these assessments on. It bases its grading methods based on the method of completion that it gave you in the chapter and in these tutorials. So, and I know these first 3 chapters may be very simple for some of you. It's very tempting to complete those assessments without doing any of the tutorials. And you can certainly try. I'm just suggesting that if you do have trouble on the first or second attempt, that you go back and take a look at the projects or the tutorials, and both. Actually, you need to do both to make sure that you understand the method of completion. Okay, so that's for all of week 1. Now when we get to week 2, next week, then you'll click on the week 2 link, and you'll see chapters 4 and chapter 5 in there. So anyway, hopefully that's helped a little bit to kind of get you started within SNAP. And again, I want to point out the Student Users Guide and the Frequently Asked Questions. Those are very, very helpful tools. They're PDF files that can give you additional information on any questions that you may have. Feel free also to email me or call me with questions. I'm trying to give you some quick ways to get responses in case I'm not responding as quickly as you would like. The online chat help is found under the Help tab. And then you'll notice this live help chat with tech support. You have to fill out all this information, and you do have to do that every time, and then you start chat, and it's just like instant messaging. So that's very helpful, and I will say they're very responsive, very helpful, probably more quickly than if you would put in a phone call. So know that that's there. Again, that's under the Help tab. Okay, Help link, I should say. It's not necessarily a tab. So I'm not sure how many of these tabs you have. I doubt that you have the administrative tab, but hopefully you have the grades tab, and that will give you individual grades. And again, mine's not going to look like yours will, but it'll give you each one of the assessments, the graded assessments, and the performance evaluation, the quizzes, and it'll tell you what your points are for each one of those. So anyway, hopefully you'll have a great experience with SNAP. Again, keep in the back of your mind, this is a training and assessment tool. It's not perfect. There are going to be some probably times when you're very frustrated with it, thinking that you're doing the correct method. But kind of keep in mind what it's building these assessments on are the projects and the tutorials that are given to you within the textbooks, and then also here within SNAP. So, and again, if you have questions, feel free to use the Student Users Guide, contact the online help support, or you can email or call me.